time joining the session. Mr. Nital Zaveri is the Managing Director and CEO for Concept Business Excellence Private Limited Group, and also carrying the responsibility as an honorary secretary for the ASQ Ahmedabad LMC. He is a certified management consultant and the certified manager for quality and operational organizational excellence. He is also a certified business excellence award examiner, and his name was named as the ASQ's top 40 new voices of quality. He is a level 3 Cumpro certified qualicist also, and he has been the strategy or marketing or operations management from the IIM Bangalore. He has total a vast experience of 22 plus years in the consulting, and one of the renowned thing is he has completed the training on Toyota Kata from Dr. Mike Rother. So I would now, without wasting the time, let me request Mr. Nital Zaveri to take over the session. And with that, I also request all the participants to keep yourself muted. And if you have any questions, then the chat box facility is over there, so that after the session of the session, Mr. Nital Zaveri will address all the questions which will be there in the chat box. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Parth.
Yes,
okay, good evening, everybody, once again. And without wasting much time, let's now go into the main topic, that is how to check the health of your organization. So I thank ASQ LMC Ahmedabad for giving me this opportunity. And ASQ LMC Ahmedabad is trying to promote the voice of quality throughout this region, and we all have been working together voluntarily for this. Now, this is a very interesting topic, as Mr. Kaushal said, because most of us, we have our individual health check, and when we have to check the health of organization, most of the cases, how do we check the health of the organization? So there are various ways and means you can, measure the health of organization. So today we are going to discuss some of the ideas how you can measure the health of organization. And if we see, most of the organizations, when it comes to checking the health, we all, they talk about financial indicators. So that is, or some result, some kind of results. And mostly the results that we discuss are all about profit and revenue and ROA, or, EBITDA or ROC, all those indicators we talk about. Now, these are all results, and result is always, is a leading, is a lagging indicator actually, because it comes as a result of something actually. So from where does this profit and all these things come? So we should also understand those things when we want to check the health of organization. So, I mean, if we have to define health as per our traditional Indian, way actually, what is the definition of the health? So if we talk about individual, as a human being, the definition of the health which is given is a perfect balance between body, mind, and spirit, and also a social well-being. So we have to have a balanced approach in everything that we are doing. Our body should be healthy, our mind should be healthy. We should spiritually also we should be healthy, and also social well-being. So when we combine everything together, it is a perfect health. That is what is the definition one in our Indian historical books actually. Now if we talk about health of organization, when we talk about health of organization, what we are talking about is a perfect balance between the results and enablers actually. Because as I told you, we have discussed about the results which are basically financial results and other results. And but the results come from something. Now result comes from what? So that this is called enablers actually. So here what we are talking about is a perfect balance between result and enablers. That is how we can define the perfect health of the organization. Now if we put results and enablers on two axes, then we can have a 2x2 metric. And here let's say we have a weak result and strong result versus on the x-axis we have weak enablers and strong enablers. So if we put a 2 by 2 matrix, then we have this kind of matrix. And what I see is that what I would like to say is that, you know, if the results are weak and also the enablers, I mean, from where the results are coming, or sometimes, so those processes or those systems are also weak, then that organization is running on oxygen. Okay, so they need immediately some kind of attention actually, because the results are also weak and the enablers are also weak. Now, what happens if the results are very good, but the enablers are very poor actually? So I call those organizations, in a pure this thing that they have some grace of God actually, or blessings of God, or some luck is favoring them actually, because the results are there. But even though there is without any enablers, strong enablers, still the organization is thriving actually. So this is just a temporary phenomenon. It's a Ram Bharose kind of a organization actually, because you don't know because of what you are getting the results, because there are no strong enablers. Okay. Now those organizations where the results are weak and enablers are very strong actually. If you look at across India also, you will find a lot of corporates and a lot of companies who are very good, in terms of doing the things, but still the results are poor actually. So they're actually maybe, they may be having a very poor strategy actually, because for example, if your product is not in line with what the customers want today, actually, you have not innovated, for example. So if I make a 6 Sigma or 8 Sigma level of pager also today, there is no market. It is like that. So the strategy has to be also very correct actually. And we are talking about 5-star organizations, and 5-star organizations are those organizations where we have strong results and we also have strong enablers actually. So those organizations are called 5-star organizations. So if we see what is the relationship between the enabler and the goal and the result. So if we see, these are some of the actions, and if you see in this diagram that all the actions are is not unified, they are not aligned actually, and strategic and operational goals are also hazy, they are not clear, and as a result of that, what can happen is your results can also fluctuate, and like results in terms of financial, product, process, customer, employee, and leadership. If you see the result is sometime it is going up, sometime it is going down. So it is kabhi khushi kabhi gum kind of results actually. Okay. Now, if you see the 5-star organizations, there all the actions are aligned, goals and strategic goals and operational goals are also very clear. And if you see the result also, all the results, that is financial, process, product, customer, employee, and leadership, they are gradually and over a period of time increasing with the benchmark and with their own past performance actually. So ultimately what we want is that our action, our goals, and our result has to align with each other. So I just remember the story. There is one kid who came to at home, and his father was a businessman, and he said, I got this A+ rank actually, but the kid was not knowing what is this A+ rank. So this kid was asking his father, what is this A+ means, because the first time the kid got something like A+. And so his father was explaining, this is a comprehensive performance score on how you are doing, how you are performing. So this A+ means it's very good actually. Okay, and this one score tells you how good you are doing in your in your studies, and it's a comprehensive, combined, all put together actually. So now the kid was asking his father, do you have one single score in your organization, in your business that you are doing, which can tell about how you are performing as an organization? And this executive father was, was thinking, because he was not having anything like that actually. So next day they were having all this meeting, and they were all displaying different charts and graphs and different key performance indicators. And this senior executive, then he asked to all those people who were presenting that, do you have only one single score that can tell us how we are doing as a business? So now the question is this, can we have one single score that can tell us how we are doing as an organization? The answer is yes, it is possible. We can have one of course, but that score will come from a lot of other indicators. But we can know from one score how an organization is doing on a scale of 1 to 1000 or 1 to 1200 or sometime 1 to 100. Okay. Now, if you see most of as we know, there are a lot of criteria for measuring this. So there are criteria. There is a system which is at a manufacturing excellence level. And then there is something called operational excellence, and there is something called business excellence. Now, what is the difference in all these things? So it's very simple. If you see manufacturing excellence programs or concepts, they all focus on mainly. They focus on manufacturing activities that we do in the organization. Okay. Now, when we talk about operational excellence, frameworks, so there are a lot of operational excellence framework. They give you this kind of score, one single score that can tell you how well you are doing in terms of your business actually. Okay. Now, here when we say operational excellence, we are the scope is more than manufacturing activities. Okay. So you have a lot of transactional processes and other processes which are not pure manufacturing. So those processes are also covered, and we are measuring how we are doing, how well we are doing in those areas. And when we talk about business excellence, so in business excellence, basically the scope is more. It is not just transactional processes, but we also add other components like the strategy of the organization. We add, for example, the governance structure, and societal responsibilities, and all those stuff are also included into your excellence framework. So these are three different ways most of the organizations measure the health of the organization. If you look at manufacturing excellence, so for example, we have something called Deming Prize, and then in India, for example, we have this IMEA award, which is Indian Manufacturing Excellence Award. If we talk about this operational excellence, then we have something called Shingo model, which is an international model for operational excellence. It's a framework. And we have business excellence. We have Malcolm Baldrige, GFQM, and RBNQA. So these are some of the frameworks which we can use to measure the health of the organization. Okay, so I am going to touch upon all these three aspects just at a macro level. How do you measure, and all these frameworks, what do they measure actually? How they convert your organization into one single score. And that is Deming Prize, Shingo Prize, and also we have Malcolm Baldrige in India is called RBNQA. It's a replica of that actually. So now let's go ahead and understand how. Yeah. So now if you see all this criteria, all these frameworks that we use, actually, they have, like, if we talk about, as I was telling you, that there is one single score that can tell you how well you are doing. So for example, here we have this 1200 point that is in IMEA, Indian Manufacturing Excellence Award by Frost and Suvillian. Deming Prize has 300 point criteria. Shingo is having 1000 point criteria. Now they have converted this into percentage, that is from 0 to 100%. In RBNP also we have 1000 point criteria. Malcolm Baldrige also 1000 point criteria, and EFQM also 1000 point criteria. So these are the different health score actually. So with this health score can tell you how well you are doing in terms of your business. Now, why you should check the health of your organization? So that is a fundamental question, and there are three reasons why you should actually check the health of your organization. So first reason is to benchmark your organization, with others. You must benchmark your organization with yourself. If you have multiple units, you must know how do you benchmark each of these units or manufacturing facilities. So that is one purpose: internal benchmarking and external benchmarking. The other purpose is to align your entire organization, because once you have this kind of score and you know what you are doing, so you will now have, let's say your score comes out of 1000 point criteria, your score is 500. Okay, then what do you do? So you will have a lot of items, a lot of areas where you need to work, so you can that way align your entire organization in one direction. Okay. And of course, you can also drive, the organizational performance. So these are the three basic criteria for which, we usually do this measure the health of organization. So typically, if we see, there are two use of this single score. One is the external use, which is for award and recognition, and there is the internal use, which is for judging the performance of your organization, identifying opportunities for improvement, and so on. Okay. I would like to just mention that in 2010 I was a part of a study mission in Japan, and this was a study mission organized by JPCN, APO, Asian Productivity Organization, Japan Productivity Council, and all 18 countries from Asia participated in the study. And the study was on how different excellence awards in Asian countries, how the organizations are using this award criteria. Are they using for getting recognition, or they are using to improve the performance of the organization? Really. So and that was a very good learning for me actually, because what I could see in Japan is that they were promoting all these excellence models as a they were using all this excellence model as a for internal purpose more than external purpose. So they were not going for award. I mean, I could see I visited companies in Japan who applied for award for 10 consecutive years. Every year they used to know what is their score actually, and they used to improve on those based on the feedback report that they used to get. Now, let us understand one by one some of the criteria that, so let's first talk about manufacturing excellence, then we come to operational excellence, and then we come to business excellence. Okay. So now in Deming Prize, which is one of the most popular award in terms of quality recognition for the quality. This is based on TQM model, that is total quality management model. And as all of you know that Deming was American, but the Deming Prize is given from Japan. Okay. And the Deming Prize has 300-point criteria. So if any organization which is applying for Deming Prize, so they have 100 points for top management leadership. They have 100 points for implementation of TQM, and they have 100 points for what is the result, so effect of the TQM. So that is 100 points. So if you avoid all these things, so it's a 300-point criteria. Okay. And sorry. So if you go into the detail of this actually, then sorry. So there is this entire framework which is available on Deming Prize, their website, on Deming Prize website. So here we talk about this 100 points, that is section A. Then there is a section B where you have 100 points, and then there is a section C which is effect of TQM. There you have 100 points. Now, if you, broadly, if you see mostly the subcategory, so here if you see in the section B, there are a lot of implementation part. Again, there are subsections, and each subsection will have some points, So these are the points. So here there is a 15 points, and here there is a 15 point. So here there is only 10 points and all those things. So like that. Okay, so these are the different criteria, and you can also get the entire checklist. How do you assess this your entire organization? So for example, here we are talking about the business objectives. Okay, so there are two parts. How do you have customer driven business objectives and strategies that you have? So you can get out of 100 points. So this plus this, role of the top management and its exhibition, how the role top management is participating. So this two criteria will put together will give you 100 points. Okay. And there will be a lot of things in detail, so I'm not going into those details actually. Okay, so like this is 300-point criteria is designed actually. Okay, so now you get one single score, that is out of 300 you get the score. So if you again see into detail, then in Deming Prize there is a details are given. So when do you give what score, for example? So so these levels are given actually. So you get level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So like this, you can also do your self-assessment on where do you stand on each of these parameters. Okay, and then you can evaluate your performance. Okay, so that is one idea. Now there is another very popular model in India, which is called Frost and which is promoted by Frost and Sullivan, and that is Indian Manufacturing Excellence Award. This award has mainly for manufacturing excellence, and mainly they talk about business results. They talk about strategic alignment, organizational empowerment, innovation, customer focus, internal competence. Then they have criteria on operational flexibility, supply chain management, asset care, and your QMS or quality management system, scheduling systems, visual management, safety, orderliness, and shop floor management, environment, and layout and material handling systems. So this, if you see, mostly this is on manufacturing, predominantly, actually. Okay, and if you see, then they will give you a score like this, where they will have a 1200 points, and out of this 1200, they will give you your score actually. Okay, and you can also use this for your self-assessment also. We're not going into the detail, but some of the questions, how they check. So these are the questions, and then you score. So I'm just giving some of the one of the section, that is visual management. So if you see, some questions are here. So questions are, for example, and against each of these questions you have to score yourself. Okay, so there is a methodology on how you score. So how are all materials clearly identified or not? How do you preventive maintenance, if you are doing, is it visible or not? Okay. How do you make the changeover and calibration thing schedules visible to everybody? So something like this. So these are some questions against which you will be scoring, and then you will be getting a total score for visual management. Similarly, for let's say scheduling system. So how do you schedule your activities? Okay, so for example, what is the OTIF percentage? Okay, how do you calculate the yield? Compared to the benchmark in your organization. These are some of the questions, just for an example actually. Similarly, for layout and material handling, there are some questions. This is some old checklists which I was having. They may have revised these questions over a period of time. Okay, so for material handling, for example, how the vertical use of the space is there or not actually. Okay, so this is one question. So this is mainly on material handling and layout. So this is Indian Manufacturing Excellence Award, and similarly for operational excellence and flexibility. So these two criteria which I have explained, Deming and this, mainly for manufacturing companies, mainly for manufacturing related activities. And now we are talking about operational excellence. So if we talk about operational excellence, as I told you, the scope of operational excellence is more than manufacturing excellence, because manufacturing excellence, we only focus on manufacturing activities. In operational excellence, we also talk about other transactional processes, okay, like HR and your supply chain, research and development, and all those functions. Okay. Now, one of the most popular model in this is the Shingo price model. The Shingo price, I mean, we all know that Shigeo Shingo was a Japanese person, but Shingo price is given from America. And this is exactly done to replica, to reciprocate the Deming price, because Deming price is the Deming is American, price is given from Japan. So USA also thought that we should also give some award which is in the name of Japanese but is given from USA, and it should also be equally popular. So Shingo prize, if you Industry Week magazine declared that Shingo prize model is a Nobel Prize for operational excellence. Okay, so this is they have considered it equivalent to that actually Nobel Prize. So now the Shingo Prize committee is given by Utah State University in USA, and they have done a lot of research, and mainly after this Toyota lean manufacturing systems and all those things came into light, they designed their entire model keeping those operational excellence things in mind. So just a small story actually. Shingo Prize, when they when they started this model, most of the companies who got the award, their performance declined after some time. So they again did a research, intensive research, that once we gave the award and then the performance has declined. So what is the reason for that? And what Singo Prize found was very interesting. And what they found was that most of the companies, the results are so the instead of enablers, what they say is that the results are there because of behavior of the people and behavior of the leaders actually. So they wanted to incorporate in their framework of measurement of health of organization, result they wanted to link with behavior. And if you see entire Singo model, a lot of focus is there on measuring the behavior of the behavior, and how do you inculcate the behavior in the organization, how do you create a culture in the organization. That is given more emphasis in Singo Prize actually. Okay, so yeah, so if you see, so this is now, earlier they had a different I would say kind of a model, but now they have just made it some modification, some changes have been made. Most of the things are same, but there are they call D1, D2, D3. So this is called D1, this is called D2, and this is called D3. So D1 basically is all about this is a base which it talks about cultural enablers. So this is a very strong this thing, and their assessment is also more on culture in the organization rather than on the results actually. Now in culture, if you see, there are some principles which they have given, which is how do you respect every individual in the organization, and the second principle is how do you lead with humanity. Okay, so these are the two things. And if you see their assessment booklets, all those things are available on net in the Singo Prize website. They have given all detailed things on how do you check this respect for individual, how do you check lead with humility, and all those things. So that is already there available on their website. The second part, which is D2, is continuous improvement. So under continuous improvement also there are some subsections. So one is Singo Prize believes, because Shigeo Shingo, if you see, Shigeo Shingo's principle, Shigeo Shingo in his lifetime has written 18 books. He has written 18 books, and one of the very popular book is Zero Defect, okay, and Poka-yoke concept. We all know Shigeo Shingo for single minute exchange of dice and quick changeovers, but Shingo was equally popular for Zero Defect concept. And his concept was that quality has to be assured at the source. So you cannot check the products. You have to actually go to the origin where the quality is getting incorporated and try to do mistake proofing over there. That was the original idea of mistake proofing, Poka-yoke. And then improving the flow and pull. Okay, so and then the seek perfection and embrace scientific thinking and focus on processes. Okay, so these are some of the sub elements into this D1, D2, and D3. So this is D1, 2, and D3. And this enterprise alignment, again, if you see, there are three components. So one is creating value for the customer, creating constancy of the purpose. Constancy of the purpose is a very favorite philosophy of Dr. Deming. And think systematically. Now, think systematically is nothing but everyone should use this PDCA cycle, okay, in entire organization. Now, this is part of these are called enablers in terms of as per the Singo Prize model. Now, the result part, and there is a result part also. So and this is another model, in the Singo Prize they have given, which is very interesting. Is so in the center they say there is a culture of the organization, and there are 4 elements. So one is called system. How do you have system? Then you have results. You have some guiding principles, and you have some tools. And if you see, what they are saying, this diagram is very beautifully designed. Actually, they say principles will drive the results. Okay. And if you see here, the guiding principles have to be aligned with the systems. Now, systems will, based on the systems, you select the tools, that is 5S or TPM or something like that. And once you implement the tool, you will achieve the result. That is what is explained over here. And if you see here, that there is this. So the guiding principles will drive the results, and you will refine the tools based on the results, and then it should enable your systems, and it should actually drive the guiding principle. So this is very beautifully designed layout in Shingo model actually. Okay. And they have 3 insights now. Shingo model believes on only 3 insights. So first insight is this. The first insight is that ideal results require ideal behavior. So that is the first philosophy of Shingo price. Okay, and the results come from the behavior of the people. That is what they believe actually. Okay. And the second insight is purpose and system drive the behavior. So purpose and system, this will drive the behavior of the people. So that is the second insight. And the third insight is principles inform ideal behavior. So these are the 3 insight on which the entire Shingo model is based actually. Now, if you see, they have in their scoring guidelines, they have a behavior assessment scale, and which is very interesting actually. I mean, you can also get all these things from their website actually. So they have in behavior assessment scale in the organization, they have lenses. Through which they see. The first lens is called role, and then there is this frequency, then duration, and intensity, and scope. I'll explain this later on. And then if you see, there are levels actually where there are different percentages are given actually. Okay. And so this is a scale. So for example, if you see,
your voice is not coming now.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Your voice is suddenly coming.
Is it okay now? Hello.
It is clear.
Yes, Nital bhai, we are able to hear you.
Okay. So now, yeah. So now they have this, guideline where, for example, let's say executives are mostly focused on firefighting, and then you get 0 to 20 points. And if you see on the higher side, actually extreme higher side, executives are focused on ensuring the principles of the organization and operational excellence, and driven deeply into the culture and assessment for improvement. So like this is a self-explanatory actually. Entire matrix is there. How frequently does the top management get involved into improvement activities and excellence activities? So infrequent or rare, then you get 20 points. But if it is a constant and uniform, then you get 81 to 100 points. So like this. Okay. So this is a behavior scale, and then they focus on five things. First is frequency. How often do you see a particular behavior in the organization? The second is duration. Are we seeing the behavior for the first time, or we have seen this behavior for years? I mean, is it happening again and again or not actually? The third is intensity. Is there a sense of passion and importance to the behavior? If anybody is trying to violate the behavior, which is hampering the excellence initiative, how the organization is reacting with that actually, how they try to promote and create a culture which will translate into proper behavior. Okay. And scope. Do you see this behavior just few areas, few cells? Is it in some pockets, or this is widespread throughout the organization? So based on this, they give a behavior assessment score actually. And of course, role. So who is demonstrating this behavior? Is it demonstrated from the top? Is it demonstrated from the middle management? Or is it demonstrated from a team member? Okay. And then there is a result assessment. So in result, it is like most of the other criteria where they have stability, then they have trends and levels, and they have alignment, and they see the improvements actually. Okay. So again, they have 0 to 100 point scale. So this, I'm not going into the detail at present. So they have 2 scale. One is behavior scale, and another is this result scale. Okay. Now, if you see the entire criteria in Shingo model, the cultural enablers, when they ask the questions, the maximum weightage is given when they are talking to the executives. And then this is middle management, and this is for, this percentage is for team members. This is for cultural enablers. If you want to see what are the questions under cultural enablers, these are all given on their website. So you can download those things, okay? Now, continuous improvement. Who is responsible for continuous improvement? They say that has to, most of the points, most of the assessment portion will be on the, with the team members, then your frontline people. And there the executives have a little role to play and middle management have a little role. So if the continuous improvement is happening here, that means, you know, if these people do part over here, there will be definitely some correlation over here. Similarly, for enterprise and alignment, who the top management is mostly responsible and they are very less responsible. So there also they check the alignment is happening or not, but then it is given 25% weightage. And in terms of result, they go by this PQCD-SM concept. So safety, environment, moral, customer satisfaction, quality, cost and productivity, delivery, and each of these has a 20% scale. So total 100 points. Okay. Now they have just revised this criteria in May only, so even I need to go through this, you know, the scoring mechanism. But this is now the new scoring mechanism given by them. So this is about Shingo model, and now let us very quickly. You all must be familiar with RB and QA. So the Ramakrishna Bajaj National Quality Award is the Indian model, Indian replica of Malcolm Baldrige. And this is again named after Sri Ramakrishna Bajaj, and it has also has a 1,000-point criteria. And here what we are again talking about is strong enablers will result into great results. Okay. So in RB and QA, we have in the core, we have now the principles. In the outer and the middle layer, we have you know, this criteria items, and then here we have our process related things. So the middle circle is all about process, and this are enablers, and this is about the results. So here we have principle, here we have you know, enablers or processes, and here we have result. Okay, so this is how the reflection is there. And so there is a 550 point for enablers, there are 6 elements, and 450 points for results. Okay, and if you see further bifurcation, this is the total bifurcation. So again, the 6 enablers, in the 6 enablers, so leadership has 120 point, strategic planning or strategy has 85 points, workforce has customer focus has 85 points, measurement analysis and improvement has 90 points, then workforce has 85 points, and operation focus is 85. So if we consider all these things, so this is actually 550 points all put together, and this 450 points are there on result. So when we combine these two, you get a 1000 score. So this one score can tell you how well you are doing in terms of your how well you are doing as an organization. Okay, in terms of business excellence. And we have in RB and QA, we have something called organizational profile. And once we understand the organizational profile, we come out with some key business factors which are very important for that specific organization. And the assessment happens based on these key business factors. Okay, keeping these key business factors in mind. So these are some of the questions, that they ask actually. For example, if you have to have your organization profile, these are some of the questions, okay, which you will be asked actually. So what is your competitive positioning? What is your competitiveness challenges? How do you compare the data in your organization? So these are some of the questions. Now, if we see, these are the strong enablers and results. If we go each of these, so in enablers, we call, RBNK uses this guideline, which is called ADLI. So each of these process enablers or process part, if there's a leadership and strategy and everywhere, there will be some questions. When you ask these questions, you have this ADLI. So ADLI stands for whether you have approach or not. So if you are saying we have a process, we have a strategy, and you have a process for strategy. Do you have an approach to collect the input for strategy? Do you have an approach to identify the blind spot in the strategy, something like that? Then if it is there, then next question that we ask is, do you deploy this on a frequently, or how frequently do you deploy, or what is the scope of deployment? And then the third question we ask is learning. So if you have deployed, if you have approach, you have deployed, did it happen as per what you thought, or it did not happen? If it happened, what was your learning actually on positive or negative things? And then how do you integrate this entire thing with your vision and mission of the organization, or your ultimate purpose of the organization? So this is how we look at this ADLI thing. And then in result, we have something called Let's See. So this Let's See is all the results. So result in LMI, this RBNQA is 5 parts. So one is financial, then process and product, customer, employee, and leadership. All these 5 results, we see, Let's See, we call it Let's See in short. Let's See means, do you have levels and levels also? Means, are you comparing the results? You have 5 units. So, I mean, or it's within your organization, are you measuring it at a different level? Okay. Then are you monitoring the trend actually? So trend is over a period of time. How are you performing? With your projects and how you are performing. Comparison with within your own company, comparison with your competitors, how are you doing? And comparison with your own past performance, how are you doing? And how your results integrate with your overall strategy of the organization or strategic objectives that you have set in the process parts. So this is basically the mechanism to evaluate your organization as per RBNQA. So I'll not go into more detail, but in leadership, we have again 2 sections, and we have some questions like this. This is just a snapshot of one sample question, like how do you promote the legal and ethical behavior in the organization? And based on that, you can score out of, so for example, leadership group all put together has 120 points. So you, based on this, we see what is the, I would say, we ask this ADLI thing actually, approach, deployment, learning and integration, and then we give a score actually. Similarly, in strategy, we have 2 parts, and there are some questions like this. For example, how do you identify strategic opportunities for innovation? So there's a snapshot of some questions which will you can ask yourself for your own self-assessment in the organization. Then there is a customer focus. So in customer focus, we have customer expectation and customer engagement, and we have some questions. This is the sample questions. You can also download this RBNQA criteria booklet from their website, and you can do your own self-assessment. All the guidelines are available. Or you can also approach RBNQA to get more details. Okay. Yeah, so and then we have the knowledge management part, where again we have 2 parts. So each of the enablers we have 2 subparts actually. And some questions. So for example, now this new criteria, it talks about measurement agility. So how do you ensure that the performance management system can respond to rapid and unexpected organizational and external changes? So these are some of the questions that you have to ask yourself as an organization. Then employee focus, we have workforce environment and workforce engagement. So for example, how do you deal with the changing need of the capability and capacity of your employees? Okay, so these are some of the questions. And similarly, in the process, we have work systems and work processes. So for example, these are some of the questions. Now, same way, we have results. So in results also, okay. Yeah, so this is this way we have, in result we have 5 criteria items. So in result we have in RBNQA we have financial, product and process, customer, employee, and leadership related results. So this is how this particular portion is. And this is, if you see, these are all questions related to result. For example, if you see in the process part, we talk about ethics. So even how do you measure the ethic in your organization? Okay. So what are the key measures and indicators for ethical behavior in your organization? How do you measure ethical breaches? Okay. And how the stakeholders trust in your senior leaders and governance? How do these results differ by the organizational units if you have multiple units as a pro? So these are some very interesting introspective questions which you can ask, and then you can rate yourself as an organization. And as you start giving answers to this kind of questions, you can create one unified organizational score, either for manufacturing excellence or for operational excellence or for business excellence. Now you have to decide as an organization, what is it that you want to measure? Okay, are you interested in measuring the only manufacturing portion of your organization? Are you interested in measuring the entire operation? And if your service organization, of course, manufacturing excellence doesn't make any sense. It is not applicable. But if you are a service organization, then maybe operational excellence criteria, by which is you can take this already, these frameworks, whatever organizations they have designed, all these frameworks are designed based on after a lot of research actually. Okay? So why do you want to reinvent the wheel? And we can use the same framework to measure your own organization's health. And what will interestingly, what will happen is, at the end of it, you will have one single score that will tell you how well you are doing in terms of your organization. That's the whole story actually. So this is all from my side, sorry. So this is all from my side. I'll just stop sharing.
Okay, thank you, Nitalji. We have it's a very quite interesting session, and we have many questions, in fact, which are lined up. So although we have limited time, but again, some 2-3 questions we can take, you can answer.
Please.
Is that okay? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so first let me, Mr. Anil Patel, who is the head of Ford plant here in Ahmedabad, we are fortunate that he is also attending our session. So thank you, Anilji, for attending the session. And his question is very specific, that what is the process for the nomination of these awards? Okay.
So what we can, all this nomination process is given in all their websites. So if you go to Singo Prize website, they have given entire, process document, how the application, how you should process the application. So the entire guideline is given on their website. If you visit RBNPA website also, they have given the guideline on how to apply for this kind of award. So all these institutes, I would say, or institutions have their own website where they have given the guidelines. Even they have also given some more details also, like when you are applying for this, what are the preparations that you need to do. You need to prepare your organization profile. So how do you create your organization profile? There are some limitations on number of the pages that you have to use to describe your organization. So all those things are also provided. If you visit Deming Prize website, they have also given some sample, I would say, sample things actually. So sample documents are given also. So you can use those documents and prepare your apply for a application actually.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Just to answer this, just 1 second. So I'll just share one small thing with you. This is, for example, is what is given on Singo Prize. They have given the guidelines. So if you are measuring the safety, health, and moral, how you should measure, what are the things that they look at actually. So like this, you will get most of the websites, you will get the guidelines actually. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Nitalji. Our next question is Mr. Akshay Puranik. He is asking about that TQM has a system like total employee involvement, and Shingo Price also has a talk about the culture, right? Which is same as the culture in the Shingo Price, and same as the total employee involvement in TQM. His question is, and the question also is that of Mr. Raghavan Kannan. Both of them are asking why to go for different awards. Should we go for different awards, or we should go only for one award? What is the need?
Yeah, okay. So if you see, if we talk about employee engagement and total employee involvement, and not only Shingo Prize and Deming Prize, but even if you look at RBNQ also talks about employee engagement. So most of the awards, there are some common things, which are there actually. For example, customer-driven excellence. This is there in almost all the awards criteria. See? So if you ask me, actually, personally, you don't need to go for different awards actually in your organization. If you, if you have already applied for some award, and you know your score, then what you need to do is, what is important is that you work on your areas of improvement rather than going and applying for the awards actually. Because as I told you, there are two purposes. One is external, one is internal. And when I visited Japan, most of the companies were using this criteria for not for award, but for improving the organization performance. So let's say even if an organization who has applied for RBNQA or any award, and they have received some score, how can they use this score to improve their performance? That should be the thinking actually. That is my answer to this. And
okay, thank you. Miss Jankana Broker is asking a question whether there are different criteria for different industry, especially for the oil and gas industry. Are there different criteria for these awards?
So there is all these awards which I talked about. There are not, except RBNQ has a different criteria for healthcare, for education, for manufacturing, like that. But other, award criteria, they don't have specific. They are very generic in nature, and they don't have any specific criteria for specific industry segment. But if you try to search for within that particular industry segment also, you may find some research on the framework, excellence framework for that particular industry. I mean, some industries have this kind of some specific industry segments also have specific criteria for their segment. But at present in this, except RBNQ, nobody has a separate criteria.
Okay, thank you. And I think we are nearing the completion of our session, but just we can take one more question. Although in the chat box many questions are there that shows the interest of the participants and the delivery from your side. So thank you very much for that. Just one last question is that of Mr. Rajneesh Dikshit. Also, I don't know, he may be asking in some different, he says that, is there any, assessment criteria for assessing the behavior of the top management on some social aspects or something in these awards?
Yeah. Most of these awards has criteria. If you, even very specific criteria is there. If any organization which is looking at creating a culture, then I would strongly recommend to read at least even this Shingo Prize criteria. They have even behavior scale is given actually, when you do the assessment actually. And then in RBNQ also we have something on ethics, on how do the leaders get involved. We have very detailed questions on each of this part actually. If you see, leadership is a very is 120 point in RBNQ actually. Okay. So each of these criteria has something related to measuring the behavior of the leaders.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I think we have already crossed 2 minutes. So the one last, the agenda point is I will request my colleague at the ASQ LMC, Mr. Abhishek Dikshit, who will be joining us from Chennai to propose the vote of thanks for the session. Thank you, Nital Bhai, and I request Abhishek ji to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Jain. So first of all, thanks for Mr. Nital to bring this topic, which is very important, and we come to know many the modules like for Shingo model, like ideal result depend upon the ideal behaviors. That is very important for our agri organization. So thanks, and thanks for Dr. Jain, Kaushal Mehta, Mr. Kaushal Mehta, and Mr. Parth, who is making successful this events, and all the participants. I hope they are going to take the benefit from there, and this is the starting point, right? So what we understand, many content is already onto the site, so we can think and we can download, not for the award, even we can see, we can also take it where we are right now. So thank you very much. Thanks, and we will continue this journey later on, also continue, and like for next month we will have our next month we will have our quality month, so we will take some more topics related for this, and to date all the benefits over there. So thank you very much, be safe, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek ji. In fact, I mean, Mr. Anil Bhai, apart from asking the questions, he has given one final answer. He says that as far as applying for the award is concerned, right, the assessment should be done in true spirit. Yes. Assessment should be done in true spirit rather than just for the award. So I think that answers everything. So thank you, Anil Bhai, and thank you all the participants for joining us, for giving us this opportunity to showcase the LMC activities, and we will try to organize one more activity next month before we organize our main event, the flagship event in November, wherein I would request all of you and invite all of you to kindly join for that 2 days event. Thank you very much.
Professor Jain, just a small request, if you can request those who have access to camera, if they can just start their camera, we can take a snapshot of this event, and
very nice, very nice. So I request all the participants to kindly put on the camera so that we can take a snapshot. Very good suggestion. Shrikant ji can be, yeah, Abhishek ji, yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Shrikant ji joining from US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you, everybody.
Kunjuman ji, okay.
Yeah. So I'll just take the snapshot, and just 1 second. Just give me a second.
This is the beauty of the technology, that everyone right from different quarters of the world, they are together, and from the convenience of our home, we are attending this particular session. So